Travel to Australia is restricted, but not for some travellers. But Australian citizens, residents, and qualified travellers can still enter Australia. You will need to apply for an inbound exemption to travel. So how do you apply for an exemption to travel to Australia? In this video, we discuss the types of people able to apply for an exemption, what you need to prove, and the documents you need to provide. Check out if you can apply for an exemption to travel to Australia. But first, we want to thank you for joining us. Find us on all the other social media channels, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and click that bell to get notified when we release a new video. We also appreciate your likes and comments below, as it helps to support our channel. This video is brought to you by IAM. We believe that travel improves and inspires you and the people around you. We help you travel by providing services which overcome barriers and frameworks that simplify and enrich your experience. We just happen to be immigration lawyers. So reach out to your IAM visa coordinator when you're ready for your adventure, or already on one, and would like some assistance. The Australian government's ban on international travel has been extended to the 17th of June 2021. The ongoing closure of Australia's borders means that most Australian residents and non-citizens require government permission to travel. The travel ban has certainly made entering and leaving the country very difficult. Despite the ban on international travel, Australians are getting permission to head overseas each month. The reasons include lengthy overseas trips, business travel, and family matters. The most successful reason for an exemption was an intention to stay overseas for at least 3 months, and followed by compassionate and compelling grounds. Non-citizens of Australia, who need to continue their studies in the country, or have compelling reasons to go to Australia, can also apply for an exemption to enter the territory. Entering Australia has been a challenge to non-citizens of Australia, especially for international students. People locked out of the territory can apply for a travel exemption at least 2 weeks, but not more than 2 months. You must also hold a visa with an exemption to Australia's travel restrictions before you travel. You can apply for individual exemption if you belong to any of the following categories. A foreign national travelling at the invitation of the Australian government, or a state or territory government authority, for the purpose of assisting in the COVID-19 response. A foreign national whose entry into Australia would be in the national interest, supported by the Australian government or a state or territory government authority. Providing critical or specialist medical services, including air ambulance, medical evacuations, and delivering critical medical supplies. A foreign national with critical skills or working in a critical sector in Australia. A foreign national sponsored by your employer to work in Australia, in an occupation on the Priority Migration Skilled Occupation list. Military personnel, including those who form part of the Status of Forces Agreement, Commonwealth Armed Forces, Asia-Pacific Forces and Status of Armed Forces Agreement. A person who resides on a vessel that seeks safe port at the closest appointed port for reprovisioning, or safety reasons for a limited duration, supported by the relevant state or territory government where safe haven is sought. A student completing Year 11 and 12 with an endorsement from the Federal Department of Education, Skills and Employment, and support from the relevant Australian state or territory government health authority and education department. A student in your final 2 years of study of a medical, dental, nursing, or allied health profession university degree, where you have evidence of a confirmed placement in an Australian hospital or medical practice which begins within the next 2 months. Placements should be for a minimum of 24 hours per week for an average period of 3 months or longer. Traveling for compassionate and compelling reasons. Compassionate and compelling reasons include, but are not limited to, needing to travel due to the death or critical illness of a close family member. Your request must include your details, name, date of birth, visa type and number, passport number. Your reasons for travel, why you should be granted an exemption. Supporting statement, setting out how you meet one of the grounds for an exemption. Accompanying evidence, supporting evidence, such as a letter from a business involved in the provision of critical goods and services, stating why your travel is critical at this time. If you qualify for an individual exemption, you need to have your documents in order, then submit your application on the official website. Check our blog post for the link. When a travel exemption request is lodged online, a unique reference number is provided. You need to prepare the documents to be included in your travel exemption request. Check our blog post for a full list of documents. As with other processes, applications without enough supporting evidence are often rejected. The travel restrictions placed by the Australian government and the Department of Health is strict, and it is advised that you do not start your travel journey without already having your exemption. Those who are green-lighted to come to Australia are required to provide evidence of a negative COVID-19 test to the airline, taken 72 hours or less before your scheduled departure, and must quarantine at a designated facility for 14 days at their own expense, and must also comply with other state and territory travel restrictions. Do you want to travel to Australia? Talk to us in the comments section below. If you need assistance with a visa to Europe, the UK, or the US, including help with securing your travel arrangements, IAM can help. For visa advice, contact your IAM visa coordinator. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for more travel and visa updates.